Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And there you go, just like that, we're off. We're running another brand new live edition of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond. Happy Tuesday morning, everyone. Or as we're going to refer to it today as Happy Big Chief Tuesday. You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Great, whatever. I don't know what to call it.
Oh, that is in reference to the fact that coming up later this afternoon, 2:15, you'll be able to hear Huntsville and Grissom Part 4 from Jacksonville State. Steve Moulton and myself will be making that journey to Jacksonville State University, where that means on the way we have to go through Glencoe, and that means we will stop at the Big Chief for our pregame meal. Burgers, fries, and shakes. Nothing better to celebrate a basketball game than loading up on all that and then trying to do a game. So we'll do it. We'll do it. And, of course, that means you are on the road again today. And we will talk about that game coming up here in just a little bit. But first, 256-576-4977. We got a lot of college football news today. A lot of it centered around Alabama and new head coach Kalen DeBoer. But we will also
yesterday after we got off the air.
Yeah, and then we will also hear from retired head coach Nick Saban, who was in Birmingham yesterday for the 2024 Nick Saban Legacy Award, which he handed out to former Virginia Tech head coach Frank Beamer and the late Bobby Bowden. He honored both of them last night, but he had some interesting things to say, so we will hear from him as well. Plus, it's a busy day for the College Football Playoff Committee because they are sitting down via a conference call today, and we'll figure out what's going on there. I mean, there is a lot to go on, but after we left our show yesterday, Drew, Alabama put some pieces together to the coaching staff. A name that we thought would be there is not there. But then there are some names there that we didn't think would be there that are there. It was a busy day.
Yeah, there was a lot. Let's just put it this way. There was a lot going on behind the scenes, and I have it from very good authority that Kalen DeBoer hadn't slept for the last 48 hours until last night. He was doing a lot of work behind the scenes, getting the staff set, Scott, and it's taken a while.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, it hasn't been easy, especially in this, era of NIL and guys in the transfer portal and so many fleeing to the NFL. Two of them did. And Scott Huff and Ryan Grubb, and he certainly he promoted Nick Sheridan and Jamarcus Shepard for the OC and the co-OC. We knew that, but he he put his and Scott Huff left his OL coach, so he had an offensive line position open. He had a tight end coach's position open, and then a guy as you foreshadowed, William Inge, who was reported as part of the staff, but never officially announced by Alabama. He ends up never coaching it down at Alabama and going to Tennessee. And so there was a lot of moving parts in place.
Yeah, as you mentioned. So William Inge is the new linebackers coach for Tennessee. He will replace Brian Jean Mary in Knoxville. So he is not with Alabama. Christian Robinson is in Alabama. He was the linebackers coach at Baylor. And, I mean, Drew, he's got deep ties to the SEC. I mean, he's played in the SEC. He's coached in the SEC.
That's right. He was a player and graduate assistant at Georgia. And he also was the linebackers coach for several years at Florida. And then he spent a year at Auburn under Brian Harsin. And got the hell out of there as fast as he could, and went to Baylor. and then and now is coming to Alabama. So he has a lot of ties to the SEC. Most of his experience is in the SEC, Scott. And it's interesting, that wasn't the only Baylor assistant hired yesterday by Kalen DeBoer.
No, and they go for the offensive line coach at Baylor.
Yeah, they do. They hired the offensive line coach at Baylor, and he had actually. And the funny thing is, while Christian Robinson was there for about a year, he was there last season. The offensive line coach at Baylor that was hired by Kalen DeBoer had only been there for a few months, and so this is kind of where we're at right now. You got a bunch of guys jumping around, and being hired, and the thing is that it should just be expected now, because I mean that's just the way things work in this barometer, in this climate of coaching right now, because of all the especially with guys moving to the NFL so much. But yeah, man, I mean when you have that kind of
Chris Kapilovic.
Yeah, Chris Kapilovic. He spent 4 years at Michigan State, and I've been trying to practice it. But yeah, Chris Kapilovic. He was the longtime offensive line coach and run game coordinator at Michigan State for 4 years, and then had moved on to Baylor after, as we know, Mel Tucker was dismissed, and that whole thing kind of came apart at Michigan State. But Kapilovic was at Michigan State. They did have some success there. Didn't end well, but Kapilovic had been put in place, by Baylor, and been there a few months, I think maybe 2 months tops. And then he was hired by Kalen DeBoer. He's known as a old school guy who demands a lot. He's a technician. I think his offensive lines are known for being very fundamentally sound and physical. So it'll be interesting to see how it fits with Kalen DeBoer's offense. But yeah, Chris Kapilovic is the new offensive line coach. And then they hired the tight ends coach, who is a very familiar name in the state of Alabama, especially if you follow UAB.
Right. And your good buddy Brian Fowler helping get this one.
Ryan Fowler, he broke this one.
Get this one going, yeah. Georgia Southern offensive coordinator, Brian Ellis, is the new tight ends coach at Alabama.
Yeah, he's the new tight ends coach. He had been the offensive coordinator and QB coach the last 2 years at Georgia Southern. And so he was hired as the tight ends coach. He's got a really good reputation as a recruiter in the state of Alabama. And we kind of hinted to the listeners that these hires, and of course we didn't know the linebacker coach, but that they all three of them, and really it ended up being two of the three would end up with Southeastern ties, and certainly that happened with Christian Robinson and certainly Brian Ellis, and then of course Kapilovic, we'll see, but he hasn't coached a lot in the South, but I mean that doesn't mean much to me. I mean it certainly helps in recruiting,
right?
The results are more important, because Jeff Stoutland, when he came to Alabama, and I still think he was Nick Saban's best, and he's now the best in the NFL. He had been at Miami, but he'd also been at Syracuse. He didn't have a lot of Southeastern ties either, but he did a really good job coaching the OL.
I think, because a lot of people make a lot of to-do about coaching ties. Oh, they've never coached in the West. They've never coached in the Big Ten. They've never coached in the ACC or the SEC. They can't handle it. I think it's all about what you want to do and how you want to do it. Brian Harsin didn't fit at Auburn because Brian Harsin didn't want to fit into what was going on down here. He was so wanting to do it his way and adamant that his way was going to work that he was so anti in wanting to do it. Kalen DeBoer is not – it doesn't look like Kalen DeBoer so far is doing that. Kalen DeBoer is – you know what I mean? I think there's a difference between the two, and I think it can go either way. I think you got guys that don't adjust because they don't want to adjust, and you got guys that adjust because that they feel like they want to adjust.
Well, I mean, I think it's all about, being comfortable in your own skin and knowing how you want to run your program.
Right.
At certain places it works, and in others it does not. And so I just think but I will say this: Harsin had never been a head coach. Look, Boise State's not Washington. I don't give a. I know Chris Peterson won some big games there. Blah blah blah, and they won a Big Six bowl game here and there, but they've not been considered a Power Five program. Okay, and then you have to also look at Harsin's results. He was a good coach, but he wasn't winning at the clip that Peterson was, and so. And then I just think overall, you sometimes, and we'll see with certainly with Kalen DeBoer, but everything sounds positive, looks positive, but until the bullets start flying, you want to see how they react. But I do think Kalen DeBoer understands, and he's coached, in the Midwest as far as he's from South Dakota and that kind of stuff. He's coached in. On the West Coast at Washington and Fresno State, and he adapted in both those different environments because they're different parts of the country. And if you're a great coach, you adapt to the SEC. Nick Saban did because, he had no ties to the South at all. He'd never coached in the Southeastern United States when he went to LSU.
Right.
So if you know how to read people, if you know how to put together a staff, and it seems as though I would say the early returns are that Kalen DeBoer has put together a good staff, because if NFL teams are hiring your coordinators and your position coaches, and then Tennessee, who's got their ass kicked 16 out of 17 by the boogeyman Alabama, wants to hire your linebackers coach, that's because you got pretty damn good coaches in their minds, or they wouldn't be getting blasted every year.
You also got to get the dudes. You got to get the dudes to put on the field. And Alabama yesterday just didn't stop with the coaches. They got the dudes. They got some transfer portal guys. Alabama has brought in 8 via portal guys, 8 guys. 5 of them have played in the national championship, or not have. 5 of them played in the national championship game this past year. Yep. And that didn't stop yesterday. Alabama bringing in a couple dudes that played in the title game last year.
Yeah, and then I'm going to toot my own horn here about these 2 dudes, because I got tipped off that and I also give a shout out to Rodney Orr, who I work closely with at TigerInsider.com, about Keon Sabb. We've been working on Sabb, the safety for Michigan, for several days, and I was tipped off yesterday that he had enrolled online as far as courses go on Friday, Scott, but that by Sunday he was already on campus. And then it looked like that process was already over, that he was going to quickly enroll and be on campus at Alabama so he could go through spring football, Scott.
Right.
And he'll be able to, Keon Sabb. And he's basically a replacement for Caleb Downs. Is he Caleb Downs? I would say no, but he's a very solid football player who started 5 games for Michigan, had a pick 6, and played a big role in their playoff run to winning the national championship. He's a former top 100 recruit from IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. So they get Keon Sabb. And then this was very late last night that we find out a tight end from Washington, Josh Cuevas, is also enrolled at Alabama, already on campus. He actually has had an interesting career. He started out at Cal Poly and had a really good redshirt freshman year there. I think he had over 600 receiving yards, and scored a few touchdowns. Then he transfers to Washington last year. I think he had 4 catches for 154 yards. He scored a couple of times. He made some big plays. He had a very gaudy, as you could see, yards per catch. Didn't catch a lot of balls, but he's a guy with a couple years of eligibility left. And don't forget, Alabama lost a couple of tight ends in the transfer portal, and Amari Niblack to Texas, and then Miles Kitzelman to those Tennessee Volunteers. So it's a numbers game as well. And obviously the Washington coaching staff thought enough of Cuevas to bring him with him.
Well, there you go. We, by the way, in case you really want to know, we're 186 days, 3 hours, 45 minutes, and 54 seconds away from week 0 of the college football season, and we are 9 days away, I should say, 9 days away from Hawaii starting their spring practice. No, actually, my bad. We're 2 days away from Hawaii wrapping up their spring practice.
There you go.
Wrapping up. Their spring game is the 22nd.
Well, we were already talking about Sean Elliott leaving as spring practice started Georgia State. He left them to go back to coach tight ends at South Kakalaki.
Yeah. Missouri and Auburn are next up on the docket. February 27th, by the way, Missouri and Auburn, February 27th, they will kick off spring practices. Missouri's spring game will be on the 16th of March. Auburn's will be on the 6th of April. So Auburn kind of spreading out their spring practices a little bit there, as they will start in 7 days and then they will wrap up April 6th. So that is what we have coming up, and that's who's next on the docket for spring football.
Nice.
Let's get our first break in, shall we? When we come back, we'll stay with the college football theme. We'll hear from Nick Saban, and we've got some other news and nuggets for you on college football. We're just getting warmed up. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We should be back to a clean slate now. We had that wreck in Morgan County. Nelson Hollow Road and Rustic Trail had a vehicle hit a deer there. There was blockage, but no injury in the vehicle. Dr. Sandman has the Somnodent, a safe, insurance-approved alternative for snoring and sleep apnea. Dr. Randall Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
At Bryant Bank, we recognize your time is valuable, and easy, secure access to your finances is essential. That's why we provide the financial tools you need to manage your money on the go and make life a bit easier. At Bryant Bank, we're here to help with instant debit cards, Apple Pay, person-to-person payments, and more. Bryant bankers want to show you how beneficial our digital banking services can be. Learn more at bryantbank.com. Bryant Bank. Live legendary. Member FDIC.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms can include pain, heaviness, aching, fatigue, or swelling at the end of the day. If this has been the case, then Varicosity Vein Center can come to your aid. Evaluation and treatment of the veins is performed as an outpatient, utilizes the latest, minimally invasive techniques, and is covered by most insurances. After treatment, patients may resume most normal activities without delay. Varicosity Vein Center now has 3 North Alabama locations, one in Huntsville on South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road. Our new locations include Madison at Madison Hospital Complex and Coleman at the Coleman Regional Sports Medical Center. You can call 256-715-7151 to set up your appointment with one of our experienced and compassionate team members, or you can visit online at varicosityveincenter.com. Varicosity Vein Center, Alabama's premier vein center.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Listen to UAH Charger basketball all season long.
Rebound kicked out to Luke for 3. Yes, sir! Luke Burnett! Keep shooting, young man!
Listen to UAH UAH Charger basketball all season long.
Sailor along the baseline. Muscle it up, big man. Lace it up and in. Daniel Sailor makes it a 10-point game.
Listen to UAH Charger basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. And going to break, Drew, I said we were 186 days away from the start of college football. That means College Game Day is 186 days away from starting. And when it does start, retired Alabama football coach Nick Saban will be on College Game Day. And I anticipate, and I'm sure you anticipate, that College Game Day will be in Tuscaloosa for what Mike Griffith says is a game. Alabama and Georgia there early on. I anticipate he'll be there.
Yeah, I would. I don't know who Mike Griffith is.
Anyway, during the Legacy Award, if you were listening to yesterday's show, yes, you know we don't know Mike, or you don't know Mike Griffith. Nick Saban was asked about. He was asked a couple comments. I mean, we'll play a couple of them here, but he was asked about his role now on College Game Day, and does he really have to pick Alabama every time he is asked to do so?
You know, I've tried to steer away from picking people. I think I'm going to have to do that now. But I don't know that you always have to pick the team you think is going to win. You know, you're allowed to have a spiritual feeling about who you like and who you want to win. So I think it'll be a lot of fun, though. I'm excited about it. I'd like to continue to try to impact college football in a positive way in the future, and I think that gives me a voice to do it. It keeps me involved in football. I have, you know, things to do. It's not only just being there, it's the preparation that goes with it and how it can keep you involved in a game.
So there you go. There's his
fix NIL and the transfer portal, Coach, because the NC Double Dumb can't.
well, okay. So we've been asked about, and we've been asked on this show, though, about Nick Saban, like what is he doing behind the scenes right now as far as this new coaching staff goes? Has he had interaction with them? How much has he been around right now? And Nick Saban, here is what he's saying about how much of a hands-on approach he's going to have right now.
Well, that's our home, that's our family, it's our community. We're going to continue to do things to help the community every way that we can, and the coaches all know that I'm available if they need me in any way, shape, or form to help them. You know, I talk to Kalen every now and then, and talk to the defensive coordinator every now and then. He's going to come over and meet me, you know, this week sometime. So, you know, we're around. We're there to support the players and help them in any way that we can to help them be successful.
There you go. Nick Saban talking about one.
Kane Womack.
Yeah, he's talking about Kane Womack. And now, I mean, here's one more. I got one more for you. And this is how much he's been around the football program since he's retired.
Right.
I really haven't been around, you know. I really try to stay arm's length. I don't want anybody to think I'm looking over their shoulder. I think he's hired a good staff, and I think he's a good man. I think he's a good coach, and I think he'll do a really good job.
There you go. Nick Saban from last night's Nick Saban Legacy Awards.
Yeah, it's good stuff from Coach, and certainly I think he's going to stay involved. I certainly hope so. I hope he can help get the sport realigned so it's actually sane. You know, and guys want to stay in the profession instead of going to the National Football League. I think, you want the sport to be healthy. It's not in the healthiest spot right now. So him being around with his influence is great. It's you know, and I've already heard you know, through the grapevine with Kane Womack, that's going to be with it on the. I wish you could see a recording of it. You can't. He's basically going to talk shop with Coach Saban and kind of try to teach him the defensive vernacular, from what I understand. And that's going to be very interesting because I think there's some similarities schematically to what Kane wants to do with a 4-2-5 and what Coach Saban did with a 3-4 over under it. And Coach, Saban, as you know, he used a nickel quite a bit, and Kane Womack will too. But it's going to be really fascinating to watch spring football and watch all the new wrinkles and see Nick Saban still somewhat involved. I mean, at least he's definitely going to be abreast of what's going on, which is great. And if the coaches have any questions, they can use him as a sounding board.
Yeah.
And when he's the greatest of all time, and he's got an office in Bryant-Denny Stadium. That can only help you as a resource.
All right, so I'm going to play one more clip, and I hope we can hear this. And, Chad, we may have to boost this one a little bit. The audio, it's good, but it's not as good. Nick Saban did give his views, though, on the current situation in college football with everything going on.
Yeah.
But, I have a question to ask, and this is something that's just food for thought for everybody. If Coach Bryant or Coach Bowden could all of a sudden be with us tonight, what would they think of college football right now?
Lord.
But that should be the very reason that we're all very much committed to what we can do to make college football something where players have a great quality of life, but we still have a venue where they have an opportunity to grow and learn and be successful. And I hope I can be a part of, trying to help people that are working hard to make that happen. Like Greg Sankey, like Greg Byrne, like our conference commissioners are trying to do. So that's really, really important for young people, and it's something that we're very much committed to. So again, I'm going to thank you for being here tonight. I think this is a great venue. I hope we can continue to do it in the future because there's so many good coaches and so many people that have impacted so many young people so that they could be more successful in life. And that's something that's very, very important about athletics. It's very, very important about coaching. Coaching is teaching. Teaching is ability to inspire learning. And that's something that I have a tremendous amount of pride in. It's something I'm going to miss, those relationships with players. All right, but we are Alabama. All right, so all you Alabama folks out there, all right, we're Alabama, and I'm going to pick Alabama every chance I get.
So there you go. What would the Bear and what would Coach Bowden think of college football today?
Well, I mean, it's unrecognizable, and they're always for the players, but nobody wants unfettered free agency from year to year. There's no contracts. Nobody wants pay for play, all the tampering that's going on, and that's in whether it's in your favor or not in your favor. There needs to be guardrails put up for the entire sport so everybody can kind of operate from the same situation. And it would also help group of five programs. It's hurting group of five programs right now because, hell, Scott, they can't even keep head coaches.
Right.
Because the coaches they're not sure they can raise enough NIL money to pay their players. And then, all their better players are going to Power 5 schools. So, it's just a very difficult time right now. And there needs to be some uniformity. There needs to be guardrails. And you can't put the genie back in the bottle, but you can sure as hell regulate it.
All right, 728-256-576-4977. That's how you can be a part of the program this morning. See, I told you we were going to hear from Coach Saban. I mean, we have gotten, 30 minutes in, and we haven't even talked about stuff that's going on today. I mean, this was just everything that happened since our show ended yesterday. In less than 24 hours, that's what we got. In less than 24 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and we had 3 coaches named to the Alabama staff. I mean, we've already talked about it. Chris Kapolovic, offensive line coach, Brian Ellis, tight ends coach, and then Christian Robinson, linebackers coach. So we think, we don't want to say for sure. We don't, because I continued to think that the Alabama's coaching staff was set, but who the hell knows at this point? Because people have been coming and going, and it's been kind of crazy. I would say, if you wanted me to put a percentage on it, I'm in the 90s now, but you never know. And so, because again, the William Inge thing came together, it took the longest. I thought that was more of a situation of getting out of his contract at Washington. Turned out there was a reason things were, I think, being delayed and being announced. Really, the only coach that they formally announced, Scott, as on the staff was yesterday so far.
Yeah.
That's Womack, and they released that. But I'm sure in the coming days and I don't know if they'll do it all at once or a few at a time, but of course, Kalen DeBoer will be announcing officially his coaching staff, his first one heading into this season at the University of Alabama, his first in 2024.
I just had to bring it up because you were like, we don't know. So here you go.
Yeah.
As the world turns.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a theme song for us to get in. It's as the world turns. We just don't know what's going to happen in college football.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it seems like stuff's happening every day. Either someone's going to the NFL or a head coach is resigning, or you got guys moving from job to job. But that's just the way it is. And I will say this. I mean, I think. Well, obviously, Kalen DeBoer was on top of it because Christian Robinson was announced, via the media by Bruce Feldman as replacing William Inge not even an hour after the story broke that William Inge, by Austin Price of VolQuest, I believe, VolQuest.com, that he was headed to Tennessee. So they were already well aware of it. He certainly, I think, has and that's why he hasn't slept, because you're trying to get your staff in place because spring practice is just a couple weeks away.
All right, let's get that break in, shall we? 7:30. When we come back, we will talk some basketball, high school basketball, and college football.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 50s. A couple of folks could actually end up seeing the lower 60s. We're dropping into the upper 30s, lower 40s as we head into the overnight, early into your Wednesday morning. A partly sunny sky on Wednesday afternoon. It is going to be a beautiful day for the most part. Temperatures climbing actually into the low and mid 60s. We only drop into the mid and upper 40s as we head into the overnight, early Thursday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
In Tuscaloosa, we live by the blue-collar basketball motto.
Stepping back, deep three, bottom.
Hard work.
2-on-1, driving, stepping through, tough shot, got it to go.
Teamwork.
Play the song for the champions of the Southeastern Conference.
Join us for every game right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Eagle Masonry and Insulation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. March Madness begins in the Rocket City as the Conference USA Men's and Women's Basketball Championships come to the Von Braun Center March 12th through the 16th as 9 teams look to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. Lock in your seat for all the tournament action now and get the best seats available to be right on top of the action. And thanks to our friends at Dave & Buster's and Main Event, we have Power Passes available in 4-pack single session tickets available now that include $60 in savings. For more information, visit VonBraunCenter.com or visit the BBC box office. The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Had a stalled vehicle in Morgan County, 67 and 36. They couldn't get it out of gear to push out of the roadway. Well, they just cleared that one, so everything should be back to normal there. Everything else looks pretty good this morning. We had one wreck, Nelson Holla and Rustic. It's cleared. Had a vehicle hit a deer there. You get 2 pieces of hand-breaded, juicy tender signature chicken and a buttermilk biscuit for $4.99 at Popeyes. University in Jordan, 72 and Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
All right, 7:35 on a Tuesday morning. I am here in the Rocket City. Drew is in. Are you in Jacksonville? Is that where they have you holed up at?
Yes, in the Hampton Inn.
All right. Oh, good. They've got good breakfast. You'll like their breakfast.
Oh, I already went down and had partook in some cereal. I had to eat fast.
Okay.
Well,
what time did it open?
I guess 6, because I went down there at 6, man, and it was fired up.
Man.
So it would be right up your alley.
Well, I mean, it's good. It's decent. I mean, okay, it's good if you. It's not like. It's not like Bubby's Diner or Metro Diner breakfast.
I know you're going through withdrawals because you missed Bubby's, man.
I did. Yeah. I did. You know how I know the show has been very well done today so far through 36 minutes, and we've said a bunch of smart stuff that is good?
Because we haven't talked about food or other idiots, right?
Yeah, we haven't got a call from King Idiot Jeff from the Borough.
Oh, shut up with that moron, leaving a freaking voicemail, acting like he never watches the games when they lose. And then all of a sudden, when they win, the jackass leaves a voicemail talking junk. Guess what, Jeff? Kentucky ain't done losing. They're going to get that ass whooped eventually, and I'm going to give it to you so hard, you'll never call the show again, you peckerhead. Just get ready, because I'm going to hammer your ass.
Well, I spoke too soon. I did speak too soon. He's on the phone lines.
Good. Put him on the phone line.
Okay, Jeff from the Borough with us. Good morning, Jeff.
What's up, gutless coward?
First of all,
shut up. That's what's first. Gutless coward who lies through your teeth all the time. You don't watch the games when they lose, and when they win, you want to talk trash like a coward because you can't call any of us, you jackass. So that's exactly what you are. So shut your mouth, hang up the phone, Chad. He's not going to say a word. I had my take. Goodbye, Jeff. Next caller.
We don't have anybody.
Good. I don't care. That's my say. He had his, I had mine. Goodbye, Jeff. Go smoke a cigarette.
Oh.
I enjoyed that. And if Chad wants to, he can play Jeff's voicemail so they can understand what kind of trash the guy is. But I think Steve played it on the drive last night, so everybody got a chance to hear it. And he called in and made a jackass out of himself because that's what he is. He ought to tattoo it on his forehead.
I think, let's see here. What you were referring to was this. I've got it. This is it right. Yeah, this is it right here, I believe. Yeah, this is it. Here we go.
This is the kind of person he is, everybody.
Mr. Moulton, DeArmond and Theisen. Now that didn't catch. Kentucky 7, DeArmond 59 in the jungle. This is JIB, Jeff in the Borough. What's and all that? As Cal beats Bruce the Cheater. And the Albert Arena, the jungle is ours. We rule everything. Oh, yeah. We took a lot, babe. But you didn't think we could do it. Oh, yeah. Not first place SEC, but we beat Bruce the Cheater, as we always do. Have a good day.
There you go.
You know how ironic that is, Scott? Somebody from Kentucky calling someone a cheater.
Yep.
They had a white supremacist for a coach in Adolph Rupp. even though that was the times he grew up in, so he really wasn't his fault, but it's a fact. And it was awesome to see Texas Western, the first all African-American starting five, whip their ass. And then, of course, we all know that Rupp cheated. We know that Chris Mills got $1,000 from Eddie Sutton and his boosters in his envelope. I mean, everybody cheats. But somebody from Kentucky calling Bruce Pearl a cheater is just a little bit ironic when Kentucky's cheated their ass off in basketball their entire existence. And I know Jeff's listening, and I hope he enjoys it, because you calling someone a cheater is a joke, you clown.
All right, let's go to Floyd real fast. Good morning, Floyd.
Good morning. How are we this morning?
We're doing good.
Yeah, and and I'm an Alabama fan, but they own the Jungle with a record of 2-5, I think it is. So
well, Jeff can't count to 10, so that when you can't count to 10, you don't realize when you're 2-5. Okay.
Right. Oh, but just changing the narrative just a little bit here, and I know Huntsville and Grissom are playing today, but
Yes,
I would like to congratulate New Hope and DAR. They're going to be playing on Thursday for the fourth time this year, and they both won their regional games yesterday, and just like to congratulate those guys.
Yeah, New Hope got a win over Aniana 51-47, and DAR got a win over Anniston 55-51, Drew. And DAR had to beat the two-time defending state champions in a sub-regional game. And then they beat the 2001 champion. Anniston had won it back, I believe, a few years ago, or 21, not 2001, 21.
Well, I mean, Anniston was number 4 in the state.
Yeah.
Jacksonville was the two-time defending champ. And I believe DAR had lost the first two to New Hope during the regular season. The area tournament was at New Hope, and DAR won that 66-48. So DAR is red hot right now. Congratulations to Justin Jonas, their head coach, who's done a great job there. I believe this is year 2 for him. And I think they're 24-9 now. I watched a lot of that game on the bus on the way, and they were down 7 in the fourth quarter. So big time rally for DAR to come back and win that game. And then before that, I didn't get a chance to see any of it, but from what I understand, New Hope trailed for much of the game against Aniana and came back and won Scott. So they won 51-47. So I believe they play Thursday at 10:45 a.m. Over at Jacksonville State for a berth in the Final Four. So it's an all, Madison County, Marshall County, North Alabama Final 8 matchup, and we're very proud of both those programs. Going to try to effort to hear from those coaches on the show this week. I know they've got a lot to prepare for. We'll see if we can hear from them. Maybe tomorrow on the show or on Thursday, we'll see. But certainly very proud of both those teams and the way they played. And DAR played Huntsville at DAR early in the regular season, and so they've come a long way. Justin Jonas wanted to challenge his team and play a very tough schedule. That certainly helped. And then Matt Nelson, he was the longtime girls coach at Albertville, did a nice job there, and he's done a really good job rebuilding this New Hope program.
All right. Thanks, guys. That's all I've got.
All right. Thanks, Floyd. Let's go to Bama Bino this morning. Good morning, sir. How's the rehab going?
Oh, it's doing good. They dropped me down to 1 day a week on my physical therapy, and it's still sore around the edges, but it's doing good, and proud to be able to have it and kind of get a new knee. But I just want to let you know I enjoy you guys' recruiting updates and the hard work you do, and give you a little friendly fire, maybe calm your blood pressure a little bit there. Jeff's giving us cigarette smokers a bad rap there, but at least I'm smart enough to the cigarettes I smoke are those Slick Willie 120s that Bill Clinton said he smoked, but not pot. I'm not talking about pot, but you don't have to inhale these basic about 100s I smoke. Bill Clinton didn't inhale, so. But
Mel, gotta have some common sense on this show. You know what I'm saying? We really appreciate your support and phone calls. We don't appreciate people who lie to us and who basically try to shout us down and act like they're smarter than us when they couldn't spell cat.
And they can't even say. I mean, I get it. I mean,
we say Scott Tyson every day, and he can't even say his last name right. So you know what a buffoon the guy is.
Yeah, really. Yeah. I think some people just want to hear their self-talk.
Phonics, bro.
That's right. Well, keep up good work. I think some people just want to hear their self-talk.
I think so.
That's a great point, Bama Bino.
Thanks for the phone call, bud.
Appreciate you, man.
Let's go to Brandon before the break. Good morning, Brandon.
I just don't understand. Some people make fun of somebody in a cancer shirt and make fun of Fluff after he died. I mean,
yeah, that's what pissed me off yesterday was when he's making fun of Bruce Pearl for wearing a T-shirt for his cancer day that Bruce Pearl does, and it has drawn so much attention to cancer for men's screenings.
Help people.
Yeah, that's what pissed me off yesterday was when he talked about that. That's come on now.
Oh, I'm with you. There's certain things I will not take a shot at, and if you're doing something that's outstanding to help people, then I'll back off and applaud you.
Yeah, I mean, no question about that. I mean, you don't want to be. I mean, Bruce Pearl's raised a ton of money to help people. If you saw the video a couple of weeks ago, that where several of the folks that he's helped showed up to, and this was before a game. I mean, this was like during. It was kind of a surprise. They surprised Bruce Pearl and just thanked him for all the work that he's done. I mean, you can't take a shot at somebody over that. To do that, you're a low-class, low-rent scumbag of a human being.
Well, I'm being told by my friend at Glencoe, he said, I think that today is Twin Burger Basket Special.
Uh-oh.
Two burgers and 2 drinks or 2 shakes for $12. He said, I think that
that's my whole lunch right there. That's for me. We ain't splitting that.
Oh, Lord.
He said that's usually on their Facebook page. He said it was last Tuesday.
Well, I'm going to look right now, and we're going to look and see because this is Big Chief Day.
Yeah, I'm headed that way shortly myself. So they open at 11 your time, which is noon my time, correct?
Yes, they open at 11 our time, so it's noon your time.
What time are y'all planning to?
We are leaving here at 10 a.m. I've been told we are leaving here at 10 a.m. So
okay, so
I would say an hour and probably 15, hour and 20 to get there maybe. I would say by 11:15, 11:30 we should be there easily, probably.
Nice.
Now, is Drew leaving Jacksonville to join us?
No, Drew won't be able to join us. It'll be just.
I don't have my own vehicle this time, man.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I did not know the DeArmond mobile was not.
No, the DeArmond mobile. I rode on the bus this time, so I'm on the tight schedule with the team, so got to keep it rolling.
Hey, for Love Me Sexy Day, they did that as well. They did
they really?
Yeah, yeah.
What a show that was.
Hey, just wanted to let Drew know, if y'all make it back to Lake Point this year, they have built a varsity next door to the Lake Point there.
Oh, really? A new varsity, huh?
A new varsity. And they built it so small that right now it's a drive-through only because they don't have anywhere to store all their stuff. They deposed the former Crystal that was there and built a new building. And so now they're trying to figure out storage outside. We went through as it opened up over the weekend, and word is there may be a Whataburger coming to that strip as well.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
I did, as I was going back last time from, I want to say it was in either Arab or Albertville. I think there's a Whataburger now. I noticed. I was like, oh.
You know, we went how many years with having just like 2 on the way to Birmingham, and now they're like on every corner.
Now they're popping up everywhere.
Yeah, we always had just varsity in Athens, Kennesaw, and downtown Atlanta, and now they're building one down at Emerson. They're building one here in Rome. They're building one everywhere, and we're talking about getting a Whataburger here And then one of the guys that owns a pretty big real estate company here in town, he's reached out to In-N-Out. And they're having conversations with In-N-Out about possibly having one somewhere here in the Cartersville area.
I think in 26 we're getting one in Nashville, an In-N-Out burger. So I believe that's the latest.
I've never tried it. Scott's educated me.
Yeah, I've had that.
So it's a whole lot cheaper than Five Guys, I promise you that.
Not. All right, Brandon, hope to see you there at the Big Chief later today, but we got to get this break in.
Get the break in.
Yep, I'm going to be eating some burgers and shakes, I tell you that. It's already going down.
I hope I get a grape slushy thing, whatever the hell it's called. I can't ever remember.
I'll figure it out. We'll see what we can do. Let's get a break in. When we come back, it'll be courtesy of Jeff and the Burrow. When we come back, we'll wrap up hour one.
Well, then it'll be poisoned. I don't.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
We've got a good-looking morning going. No wrecks, no stalls, no traffic signal problems to report now. Heavy traffic load, you be careful as you make the rest of your trip in this morning. From routine care to heart failure, Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialist on Bob Wallace have the expertise to care for all matters of the heart. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, 256-576-4977. That's how you can enjoy the program this morning. And, Drew, that's where we're going to go back out of break. Wolverine Dan is with us on a Tuesday. Good morning, sir.
Jeff and the Burrow, wow. I did not know what happened until this morning, and I listened to all this, and I'm thinking, okay, all right, so here we go. I mean, you know, when I was fortunate enough to beat Alabama this year, I don't think I really piled on a lot. You know, I say Natty Danny because it's kind of cute and it's fun. But reality is this, that I'm going to have to probably play him again down the road. there's a pretty good possibility I'm not going to win the game. So, Jeff, I don't know what you're doing, dude. Fellas, I think Jeff needs a girlfriend, if you know what I'm saying. He's got a lot of tension. He's stressed out. And who would go out with him? That's the question.
I don't even want to know.
Oh. All right. Well, anyway, yeah, he's done this before. I don't know. That's why I got banned from another show that's up north from us.
He's even been banned on our show for a while. Scott banned him.
Yeah. Well, I just hope you guys don't feel that way about me, okay?
No.
You know, so, yeah. Well,
you have
I
to,
mean,
you have to last, Dan. You don't like I said, you of course were very proud of your Michigan Wolverines, and we had no problem with that. But see, Jeff, the problem with Jeff is he has selective memory and he lies a lot, and then as Scott says, he takes pot shots at things that it shows you're a low class, low rent human being when you do it. I mean, and plus he cusses on the show all the time, and I'm talking about words that we aren't allowed to say.
Yes. Well, I mean, we've said them, but I mean,
we tried.
Well,
not
didn't mean to.
Try not to. We had to kick him off the air the other day for saying it.
Well, if somebody's down like that, or a loss, I mean, the loss is good enough. You won the game. You should be happy. I'm excited about it. But don't, while they're on the ground, don't kick them. What are you doing? That's pretty much what he's doing. And yeah, that isn't a sports fan. Sports fan is supposed to be, you're supposed to be gracious in your victories and gracious in your losses, okay? Which is fine. And I've always brought that up on your station about your team. People, you've got the two best coaches of all time, no doubt. So there's always a lot of pluses with Alabama because it is what it is. And if you don't think it is, then you're a Jeff in the burrow. You're not thinking straight. I still think Jeff needs a girlfriend, if you know what I'm saying. So with that said, listen, Jeff, you need to back off a little bit. Try to step up with more positive reinforcement and not negativism, and also kick the people while they're down. Jeff, people don't want to hear you when you do that, okay? When I call on the show, everybody knows they're going to get a lot of Michigan and Detroit Lions and everything in sports up north. But at least, I joke around now and then, but I'm not really nasty to people, and I don't want to be that person. That's why I moved to Alabama, for crying out loud. I got rid of nastyism up north, come down here to the people that are really nice. So with that said, I'm rambling. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Wolverine Dan. Yeah, we're getting some messages, Drew, that people have chiming in saying, thanks, that was awesome. Never let the moron back on. Ban him again. So there you go.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. This is our show. I am going to rule the show from the standpoint Jeff is not going to take it over. So I was going to hammer him, and he was going to have nothing to say. If he's going to be a gutless coward and leave some stupid voicemail, then he is going to get hammered. Okay, because he acts like we never compliment Kentucky. We actually don't ride Kentucky. He makes it up in his mind because he's got a pea brain. I mean,
yeah.
I'm actually very complimentary of Mark Stoops. I'm complimentary of John Calipari. I've been saying Kentucky's going to figure things out. And actually, Kentucky beating Auburn helped Alabama, but Auburn's still very much in the race. It was a great win for Kentucky. I said it was their best win of the year, and yet he's got to act like a jackass. So if you're going to do that, you're going to pay for it. And, hey, that's just the bottom line. He'll call probably either Tom's show or maybe the drive tonight and try to, be his asinine self again. But he's not going to do it on this show because I was going to have the final say and just throw him off the air because I'm sorry. I mean, to me, that's just a low-rent thing to do.
All right, we've got to get our break in for the hour because when we come back, we will turn to common sense. Christian Schweers will join us, Huntsville High head coach. We've got to preview today's Huntsville Grissom Part 4 from Jacksonville State.
The
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
College basketball, Alabama back in action on Wednesday night, home at Coleman Coliseum when they take on Florida. The Crimson Tide ranked 15th in the latest AP poll. And Alabama also plus 2,000 to win this year's national championship. The Crimson Tide are also plus 430 to make it to this year's Final Four. Auburn will return on Saturday. They'll head to Athens to take on Georgia. The Tigers are ranked 13th and are also plus 2,000 to win the national championship. And they're also plus 430 to make the Final Four. For VSiN.com, I'm Tony Desiri, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Hi, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond. Welcome back into the show. And as the calendar turns to Tuesday, that means another full day of high school basketball from the Northwest Regional and the Northeast Regional. If you're looking for action from the Northwest Regional, you're going to get your 6A girls, your 6A boys, your 7A girls, and your 7A boys finals from Wallace State Hansfield today. That is the action over there. That kind of mirrors what's going on over at Jacksonville State today, because you get your 6A girls, 6A boys, 7A girls, and 7A boys finals. Now, we do not have a 6A girls team in the 6A finals this year. It's Shades Valley and Huffman from Jacksonville State. The 7A girls is going to see Hewitt, Trussville, and Chelsea. But the 7A boys final from Jacksonville State, oh boy, two very, 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 I said it 4 times, familiar teams.
Yeah, it's an all Rocket City final. Huntsville City Schools, very proud moment for them, as for the first time since 2014, the Grissom Tigers are in the Elite Eight from the days of Bo Kahn, and doing a great job coaching. And now in his 6th season, Christian Swears, for the 5th time in 6 seasons, the Huntsville Crimson Panthers are in the Elite Eight. It's going to be a great crowd over at the Peak later this morning at 10:45 a.m. or at 2:15 p.m. But the action will be starting early this morning, and at 10:45 a.m. we were talking earlier about New Hope and of course DAR. That will be on Thursday at the Peak. But at 2:15 p.m. it's going to be all Rocket City all the time, and it'll be Chapter 4 this year with the Huntsville Crimson Panthers and the Grissom Tigers. And the head basketball coach, Christian Swears, has been kind enough to join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline before this amazing matchup today. Coach, good morning. You're with Drew and Scott. How are you, sir?
Good morning, guys. Doing well. There were snow flurries here in Jacksonville this morning, so automatically we have a little different type of morning here feel for the Elite Eight.
Well, Coach, I mean, it's been a week since you've been on the court. You did get the 56-38 win over Oak Mountain. What have you been able to do, or how did you treat the past week since the semifinal win?
Well, I think at first I thought this break was going to be not a good thing, and then I quickly realized the morning of the Oak Mountain game, when I had 2 of our best players sick and play that game sick. One came off the floor in the middle of the game to throw up. The other was throwing up at halftime, and those guys just gutted it out. And so we've had other sickness on our team
around that time, and so we've been able to get healthy over the last week, and that's going to be very good for us today. We probably weren't healthy heading into that game and didn't play that game healthy, and just kind of found a way to muster up enough energy and get through it. So I'm glad that everybody's healthy. We're excited. We're refreshed. We're ready to play today. It's going to be a great opportunity for our players and our program and our fans.
Well, and Coach, I know you've done this a long time, both as an assistant and head coach, and you've been on runs like this, especially under Bucky McMillan at Mountain Brook and your father at Trinity. All these journeys are different in many ways, but talk about this group. You always have gut check moments, and certainly, as you said, your team was trying to work through sickness when they played Oak Mountain, a team they had played the year before in the Sweet 16. And they got off to a great start, 13-0, but certainly to Oak Mountain's credit and Joel Floyd, they countered. It was 18-15, I think is the closest they got, but it was 23-19 at halftime. It certainly was still up for grabs, but I thought your team had a championship response in that third quarter, especially on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, we've been good all year, and that's what happens with good teams that are mature, experienced, and seasoned. When things don't go according to plan, they respond in a positive way, and it's usually in the areas that you can control. And this team has stepped up defensively all year long. They've always responded with good defensive effort in these games, and I wasn't surprised by that last week. And that's what's kind of made them special, is they just continue to bring it. They've been so consistent this season, and it's an area that heading in, I thought we would have to be really good, but I thought going into the season we would be multiple like last year and play different defenses and switch things up. But to their credit, they've locked in on just being a really good, sound half-court man-to-man team and using their length to their advantage and their IQ to their advantage. And so we were able to lock in on D and really bother and kind of shut down Oak Mountain's offense and momentum last week. And we'll definitely try and do the same thing today. That's the plan.
Yeah, how big of a third quarter was that when you don't hold – I should say don't – when you hold a team to 0 field goals in a quarter and you just give them 3 free throws in one quarter of play?
Well, it's great because you can rely on that. You can't rely on making threes and, scoring all the time, every possession. And so you can rely on defense, and that's what usually championship-level teams, before they win it, that's kind of usually their identity. There's been very few teams that I've seen at any level of basketball be highly successful without being a great defensive team first. And that's kind of always been our mantra since I've gotten here 6 years ago, is that we're going to be built on the defensive end and let everything kind of go from there.
And then, Coach, I wanted to spotlight some young guys because during these journeys, sometimes injuries are an unfortunate part of it. You lost a very important player in Microwave Merrick McCartney, who to me had been a tremendous player for you for the last 2 years. I really loved watching him. And as a senior, I really thought he totally bought into his role and had a great year. Unfortunately, you lose him in the semifinals of the area tournament, but yet it opens up opportunities. You have, a guy like Nunu Baker, who's been a very important piece of your culture defensively, but then it opens up opportunities for a couple of young guards, one with a very familiar last name in Hudson Gossett, but also a young man named Cam Carney, who I know they haven't played a ton of minutes, Coach, but I thought they'd given you good floor time, and especially Carney on the defensive end. I think it speaks highly of your program that you trust these guys to play in games of this magnitude and that they have come through for you so far.
Yeah, I think I echo what you just said. I mean, I think that it's a great thing that these young guys, and it's something that we've seen each year, is these young guys kind of get groomed throughout the year with the JV, and we get to watch them play throughout the season, and they have to practice against the varsity a lot. They have to go up against these guys on a routine basis, and so we see them on a daily basis throughout the season, and guys get better. And that's what happens with young guys. They tend to get better over the course of the year, and I'm a believer in playing the best players regardless of age, and we've done that each year. We've brought somebody up, so those guys have all added something positive to our team here down the stretch.
Well, and Coach, I mean, today it's the fourth meeting between Huntsville and Grissom. I guess it doesn't matter who it is. It's still the fourth meeting between a team. How do you look at that? How do you treat it? How do you not over-prepare for seeing a team for the fourth time?
Well, I'll say this. I think everybody outside of our circle has made that a really big deal. It's not a big deal to us. Truthfully, it doesn't matter who we're playing today. We've said this all along, that it's always about us, and we're always playing ourselves. And it doesn't have much to do with the opponent. And even though people would like to make it about that, and I'm sure there are other people that would like to make it about that, familiarity and playing each other a fourth time, it just doesn't matter. We could play, this could be the 10th meeting, and I promise you our guys are going to come out with the same level of intensity and focus that is needed and confidence that they've earned through hard work. And, we're looking forward to it at 2:15 today. Had a great thing happen this morning. We're sitting down here getting coffee as a staff in the hotel, and we meet a lady who had gone to school at Huntsville High. Her kids had gone to Huntsville High. She didn't even know who we were or where we were from, and we get to meet. And, man, she just exuded so much confidence that I almost got her to get on the air here with you guys this morning. She had me pumped up, ready to go play right now.
Man, that's awesome that you get a chance to during these, kind of journeys as a team, you cross paths with people like that and alums of the school that are very proud of what's going on. And I know it's going to be a whiteout today. I know, Coach, you've been very proud of the student, representation at each home game this year. I know Huntsville's atmosphere has been complimented by a lot of people, and it felt like a home game certainly against Oak Mountain a week ago. And I think we expect both schools, and especially Huntsville High, the students are very excited about this opportunity because, again, you don't take them for granted. There was no guarantee that Huntsville would be here. We certainly hoped that both schools would, but you earn your opportunities, and now you get a chance once again to try to get to the biggest stage in high school basketball.
We've got a special fan base and special following, and that's just Huntsville High is a special place in terms of support for each other. And, I love our students. I love our administration. They do such a great job of promoting that type of atmosphere and an environment that we can all be proud of. And I got no doubt in my mind that we will pack it out today. I've been getting, messages from all sorts of fans, all ages, that are excited about coming, and it just means a lot. It means a lot to me, for our guys to play in front of that environment. You work really hard, and you put in a lot of time, and to be able to put a product on the floor that a lot of people want to see and be a part of just means a lot, because it has everything to do with their hard work, and they deserve to play in front of a crowd like that in a big game.
Coach, I want to ask you, and I asked Coach Doss this too, and I'm just curious. The way that the foul structure is now, there's no more 1-and-1 in high school basketball. It's after 5 fouls in the quarter, you head to the free throw line. Have you noticed a difference throughout the year in how games are being done, or how you have to adapt to things in a quarter with this?
I mean, if you've got depth, you're not really worried about it, right? If you've got depth, you're not concerned about fouls and that sort of thing. I'm not really traditional in terms of, what you're supposed to do when a guy gets in foul trouble. I know old school guys go 2 and you're done the half. get your third and the third, you're done. There are analytics behind some of that stuff now that say that is not what you're supposed to do. And so we haven't really done that, and it's never really gotten us, knock on wood. In terms of the foul, the free throw thing, like, we haven't really been on the other side of that because, we're really trying to score at the rim, every possession, use our size. And so we've been able to get other teams in foul trouble at the rim. And so that's been helpful for us. We're a good free throw shooting team. We're shooting about 71% as a team from the line. So, I hope that we'll get that opportunity today. I think that these games are won and lost at the foul line late in the year. And it's something that doesn't get, probably talked about enough. We've lost some games down here the last several years as a result of poor free throw shooting with good teams. So, I don't know. To answer your question, like, am I going to pull the ball out and stall if we have 4 fouls in a quarter? I don't think we're going to do that, but to each his own, and we'll kind of adjust to the flow of the game, and I think that's probably about it for that.
Well, and then, Coach, talk about your guys. These are the kind of games that competitors live for. I was watching some highlights of Oak Mountain last night, and it just reinforced how well Simon Walker played in the last game and really how well he's played in the postseason. I know he had a game-high 17 against Oak Mountain and really showed his complete bag offensively. And he was one of those guys that was under the weather. He played an extremely gutty game, but showing off his mid-range, his ability to get to the rim, play in transition and shoot the three. And I know it wasn't one of Caleb Harrison's most prolific scoring games, but I thought he had a huge third quarter. Josh Bowman has played well. And then Eli Stabler does what Eli Stabler does. He takes care of the ball. And then I thought he made one of the bigger shots of the game to extend the lead from 17 to 20. And when you get up 20 in a high school game, it's just almost demoralizing. But just kind of talk about those top 6 guys and how they've played in the postseason.
They're all seasoned. They're all have a lot of experience. I was watching our Elite Eight game from 2 years ago. We played down here last night, and just forgot how young we were in that game. And we probably weren't ready to win at a high level yet. We had 4 ninth graders out on the floor at one point in time in crunch time. And, those same 4 guys will be playing today in this game 2 years later. That's 65 games later. So that would be, I would say, the strength is that we are experienced. We've been through a lot as a group, both good and bad. They're an unselfish group. They're very talented, of course, but they're an unselfish group. And they care about one another. They've got great character individually, and so our team character is really high, which makes them a special group to coach. They are just the obvious. They're so big. I'm around them every day, but I'm still blown away about how big these guys are. And that size is a real thing, and that's been a huge asset for us this season. Just really good kids, man. They come from good families. We had a team dinner the other night, and just kind of reminded of the type of people that we have involved in our program, and just feel very fortunate and blessed to be where we are, and so happy to be the head coach at Huntsville High right now.
Well, we're certainly proud of you guys, and we're proud to have the game on 97.7 The Zone with Scott Theisen and Steve Moulton on the call. And Coach, real quickly as we wrap up, you're not reinventing the wheel. You guys know each other so well. What's going to be the keys today?
I just think the first thing is we got to be us. We got to be the aggressor. We got to be the team that dictates the tempo of the game on both ends of the floor. And it's just going to be about stops and scoring at the rim. Second thing would be, I think we've got to limit their best players. They play well when certain guys are playing well, and we got to make those guys have bad days. And then the third thing would just be to just play with confidence for 32 minutes. We've worked extremely hard. We've been through the adversity, and now is the time to step up and go take it.
No question. Well, thank you, Coach. We appreciate the time. We know you got shoot around later this morning, and it's a busy morning for you, but you always are very generous with your time with us. We certainly look forward to this game later at 2:15 over at the Pete. But appreciate you talking some Huntsville Crimson Panthers basketball with us this morning.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you all for having me on, and we'll see you at 2:15. Go Big Red.
Huntsville High head coach Christian Schweers with us ahead of today's game again. 2:15, 97.7 ESPN. The Zone will be the home of today's fourth meeting between Huntsville and Grissom. And let's get a break in. When we come back, we'll talk more of some high school basketball, let you know what happened yesterday on the hardwood, who got wins.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
March Madness begins in the Rocket City as the Conference USA Men's and Women's Basketball Championships come to the Von Braun Center March 12th through the 16th as 9 teams look to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. Lock in your seat for all the tournament action now and get the best seats available to be right on top of the action. And thanks to our friends at Dave & Buster's and Main Event, we have Power Passes available and 4-pack single session tickets available now that include $60 in savings. For more information, visit VonBraunCenter.com or visit the VBC box office.
Gunner's Landing is one of the Tennessee Valley's finest golf experiences. Just 35 minutes from downtown Huntsville, Gunner's Landing's 18-hole championship Jewel is open to the public 7 days a week. Located in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, Gunner's Landing offers you a golf experience like no other. With beautiful Lake Gunnersville views throughout the round, Gunner's Landing is golf the way nature intended. Gunner's Landing's Club Repair Shop offers a full range of services, including re-gripping and adjusting the lofts and lies of your clubs, even putters. Since the work is done in-house, your clubs will be returned to you in a timely manner. Unmatched in the North Alabama area, it is Gunner's Landing. Schedule your tee time today at gunnerslanding.com. That's gunnerslanding.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying, Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. What's better than 2 end-zone sports bars? 3 end-zone sports bars! And we have you covered with our original location on University across from Red Lobster, in Jones Valley on Cecil Ashburn near Carl T. Jones, and our newest location in the Midtown District, on McMurtry Drive opposite the Target Plaza. All locations feature the NFL Sunday Ticket, Tuesday half-price burgers, and Wednesday $1 jumbo wings all day long. You're never far from the end zone. End Zone Sports Bar.
Picked up a couple of new wrecks. Sparkman east of Jordan reported with injuries. Turns out nobody's hurt there. We had Winchester Road in front of Buckhorn High School. That one reported injuries. They just canceled Himsey on it. You get 2 pieces of hand-breaded, juicy, tender signature chicken and a buttermilk biscuit for $4.99 at Popeyes. University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Each week, check out our latest zone deal online at 977ESPN.com.
I'm eating good food.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Oh, welcome back. Talking Ball. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. Coming up here in just a little bit. One Ryan Fowler will join the program as we talk about it.
News breaking Ryan Fowler.
Yeah, what is this with him trying to get into the breaking news game?
Well, I mean,
I saw this. I saw him put that out there that he was trying to get into the breaking news game.
Well, we could ask Ryan Fowler about that. He's becoming a breaking news reporter. He's expanding his horizons. He hasn't come to a basketball game this year, but hey,
he hasn't.
No.
Will he?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I got a message from him on Saturday, which made me think he was in the arena, and I asked him if he was with the highfalutins, and he said, "No, I'm on the way to the beach." I said, "Okay." Cool.
A different highfalutin.
Yeah, a different kind of highfalutin. Yeah, he's on the beach right
now. Oh, what is today? Tuesday?
Yeah.
So I wanted to see here, girls 6A, regional final, Hartzell and Hazel Green today.
Yep, Tim Miller, he's trying to win 7 in a row. What a run.
I mean, and that's Amber DeLine, former head coach at James Clemens, coaching there at Hartzell.
She won a state championship in Aniana. Don't forget that.
Yeah. And then, of course, at 10:45 this morning, you get Buckhorn and Coleman. Our good friend, this is kind of hard. I mean, we got both good friends. You got Patrick Harding and Stu Studeman. Yeah. I mean,
it'll be the last game since if they go to the Final Four, because as you know,
the
Bandy Man and John won't be able to do the Final Four broadcast, but they will be doing the Elite Eight broadcast. It's a rematch of a Sweet 16 game last year, Scott, that was won by Buckhorn handily. But Stu Studeman will certainly have his guys ready, and it's going to be a very exciting game. It should be a raucous environment with Coleman bringing so many people into Wallace State. And I know Buckhorn's student section and community will be well represented from Newmarket, but it's going to be a heck of an atmosphere with Buckhorn and Coleman, and the winner going to the Final Four, and Buckhorn trying to repeat as 6A champ.
Yeah, now the winner of that one will get McAdory and Helena.
The winner, yep.
Yeah, that's where.
And then our classic, man. Don't forget that.
Oh, that's right.
James Poindexter's done a great job. Got 3 big-time senior talents on that team, and they got a big win over Paul Bryant. Paul Bryant was favored in that game, but a late 3-point play allowed McAdory to win it, and now they're in the Elite Eight, and so they've got a chance to go to Birmingham.
On the, I guess you could say the complete other side of the 6A boys bracket, if Coleman or Buckhorn is fortunate enough to get into the title game, it'll either be Mountain Brook, Homewood, Park Crossing, or Carver. That's who would await them in the championship game.
Howard Davis and his son Ty, they're both they both had tremendous careers so far. Tyler winning one during the COVID year in his first season at Mountain Brook. What a start for replacing Bucky McMillan, and then he got him in the title game last year. So we could potentially see a title game rematch between Mountain Brook and Buckhorn won that game as Caleb Holt took over the Final Four. I mean, he took it by storm, averaging about 32 points and 16 rebounds per game, and he couldn't drive a car.
So in Class 7A, just to give everyone an update on the boys' side, whoever comes out of today's Huntsville-Grissom matchup will await the winner of Baker and Enterprise. Mm-hmm. That'll be the Final Four matchup. And then if either one of them are fortunate enough to get into the title game, if Huntsville is there, they could potentially see a rematch between Hoover or Thompson or Central Phoenix City or Auburn, because all 4 of those are still alive on the other side of the bracket. And then, so that's how it would look in Class 7A.
And the good thing, Huntsville's been a very difficult schedule if they're to get there, so is Grissom. They both have prepared themselves, but Huntsville has played Central and Phoenix City. They played Hoover, and they also played Enterprise, who could potentially be a semifinal opponent. They played them in the finals of the Mako Classic, but Grissom has seen a lot of really good competition as well. So both teams have prepared themselves, and Huntsville's tough schedule. this is why Coach Swears put together the schedule that he did, because he wanted to prepare his team, whether you see Grissom 4 times, which is a quality program, of course, under a 10-time state champion Jack Doss, or if you see a Hoover again, or a Central of Phoenix City, or an Enterprise, who just a couple years ago beat James Clemens for the state championship. It will not be any kind of shell shock. You're prepared to play at the level that it takes to win a game like that.
All right, so yesterday, as we did mention, DAR got a win. Tough news for the New Hope girls. They got tripped up yesterday, 44-40 by Anniston. The Skyline girls got tripped up 51-38 by Spring Garden, but the Skyline boys, they are through to the Final Four. They got a 58-51 win over Spring Garden yesterday. So congratulations to the Skyline boys.
And Coach Craig McGill, who coached both of those squads, but the girls came up a little short against the defending state champ Spring Garden, but then the boys got it done against Spring Garden to get to Birmingham.
All right, so there's your high school basketball update. We will continue to do it tomorrow as well, because coming up tomorrow from the Northeast Regional, we've got several teams: Scottsboro, Gunnersville, Pisgah, Eider. They are all in action tomorrow. We'll have action from the Northwest Regional continuing on tomorrow. Let's see if that schedule has been updated. What is tomorrow, the 21st?
Yes.
So Lauderdale County, Clements, Danville, Midfield, Priceville, Good Hope, Deschler, West Morgan, they're all in action tomorrow. So we've got a lot of stuff still going on the high school hardwood. We will do our best to keep it all straight for you as well. But we got to get a break in, because when we come back, Ryan Fowler, who has probably had as little sleep as Kalen DeBoer has had over the last 24 hours, and I'm probably not wrong, we will join us.
We'll ask him.
He'll join us next on Big Chief Day.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly to partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 50s. A couple of folks could actually end up seeing the lower 60s. We're dropping into the upper 30s, lower 40s as we head into the overnight, early into your Wednesday morning. A partly sunny sky on Wednesday afternoon. It is going to be a beautiful day for the most part. Temperatures climbing actually into the low and mid 60s. We only drop into the mid and upper 40s as we head into the overnight, early Thursday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
If those high utility bills have you seeing high numbers, make sure you give our good friends over at Talent Heating and Air a call today. They can save you some money.
That's right. We're doing one of our biggest specials ever. It's $2,000 off select units.
That's $2,000 off.
And free service calls for first responders and veterans.
Free service calls.
That's right. For the month of February, we're trying to take care of these first responders, all they do for us, and the veterans, obviously, as well.
It's Talent Heating and Air. Give them a call today at
256-503-4490.
Or you can find them online to save the money
at talenthvac.com.
It's Talent Heating and Air. One more time.
talenthvac.com. AL cert number 21014.
It's Talent Heating and Air. Give them a call to save money today.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that His mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Picked up a couple of new wrecks. Sparkman east of Jordan reported with injuries. Turns out nobody's hurt there. We had Winchester Road in front of Buckhorn High School. That one reported injuries. They just canceled Himsey on it. You get 2 pieces of hand-breaded, juicy, tender signature chicken and a buttermilk biscuit for $4.99 at Popeyes. University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo.
I want that money!
You know, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. We've had a fantastic show today. We've had a great show. We'll just put it that way. It's been entertaining. Got off to a perfect start. We crescendoed towards the end of hour number 1, and now we're bringing it back down to a respectable level to finish it out in hour number 2.
Yes, we are, and we are going to bring in North Alabama native. He has now become a news-breaking reporter. He has been a long-time radio host. I've been honored to actually sit in and host that show and be a part of the show. It was on Monday. It is, of course, the game in Tuscaloosa from 2 to 6 every Monday through Friday on Tide 109. And Ryan Fowler has been kind enough to join us this morning and talk about what a crazy day it was, all the way to late last night covering Alabama football. Ryan, welcome back to your native North Alabama, man. How are you?
Hey, good. I hope you guys are having a great morning. It is, wow. I'm sure you guys probably feel the same way. It's yesterday was one of those days. Scott, you've been in the media business a long time. So
yeah.
Drew, when you think about yesterday as far as news, and I was talking to our good friend Rodney Orr late last night, I said, you've been in the business since the 90s. Can you remember a day? And I guess in some ways, maybe recruiting, maybe you had some flips out there that just one day with the amount of content. But I don't think I've ever been anything like that. I mean, that's wow. I don't even know what to. I mean, your head was spinning. You thought, you get your coordinator or you get your 2 coaches named, or not officially through the university, but through news outlets, and then here all of a sudden, you begin to get a little trickle out. Kane Womack is announced officially, and then it began to roll, right? You start hearing about, this coach, William Inch, may be going to Tennessee. And then all of a sudden, I mean, you just throughout the day, it was crazy. It was just the amount of information, and it's quite fun for us to cover the University of Alabama. It's just one of those jobs that you get pulled in so many different directions. I mean, many times you sit down on your radio show and you've got a show prepped for what you're going to talk about, right? I mean, you've got your guest lined up. You've got your topics that you would like to do. I like to do a topic tree from time to time, and kind of branches of those conversations. And all of a sudden that, moves in 1 hour. And so then you have to go a complete different direction. I mean, I started out at 2:00 yesterday. Well, give me a grade, in your opinion, on this coaching staff. Give me a grade on this coaching staff. Well, what grade would you give Kalen DeBoer in this staff? And think about that conversation. An hour into the show, you might as well throw that out the window because it no longer is, now you got to wait for a coach. Well, then here we go. Christian Robinson, just 30 minutes later, was confirmed by Adam Rittenberg. So, been a busy couple of days here.
We knew it was coming. I mean, we knew Kalen DeBoer was going to have to fill this staff. But I think, though, too, going forward, I mean, there's just so much intrigue into how Kalen DeBoer was going to fill his staff. Was he going to fill it with guys with SEC ties? Was he going to fill it with guys he's very familiar with, like guys he's worked with in Washington? There was just a lot of intrigue on how he was going to put together this first staff.
And now we know.
Yeah.
I think that the question that you start looking, I think I mentioned this to Drew yesterday. It may have been to someone else, but if you went and you put just a map of the United States and you begin to go, okay, this guy knows this region. I mean, look, they checked a lot of boxes, right? Baylor twice. So you got some connections out there with Texas, and you say, well, hold on. That guy never even coached a game. Cap never coached a game here. But he still recruited. He got there, I think, December the 12th. So immediately he started recruiting. So he's began to build some of those relationships in the state of Texas. Well, then you start kind of working your way through, and you go in Georgia. You're checking that box. Big Ten country. You check that box. Northwest, West Coast. You check that box. Obviously, Alabama is going to be important for many. I'm sure Robert Gillespie, I don't know exactly his region. I know Freddie Roach is a local recruiter, generally throughout the state of Alabama and some of the neighboring states. Geographically, they've checked a lot of these recruiting boxes that you begin to look at the hotbeds of talent. They've been able to make an impact.
Yeah, they have. And what is your thoughts on – well, and I wanted to give you kudos for breaking the Brian Ellis story, the tight ends coach. Interesting hire there, Ryan. He was the last 2 years, of course, was in Statesboro, as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. But he has extensive ties to the state of Alabama. He played for former Alabama offensive lineman and offensive line coach and offensive coordinator Neil Callaway. And was a QB for the Blazers and coached there for quite a long time. So he that's another coach with Southeast ties and especially state ties.
Yeah, and you start looking at it. That was kind of the reference I was making around Georgia is, he's got these relationships with high school coaches. He's just never been in a program where you can go out and recruit the major recruits in that particular area. So chances are he knows a lot of those coaches, and I think that's probably a part of it. I mean, you're able to check that box. Georgia, as you know, produces so much talent. When I heard about Brian Ellis, I heard about it Sunday evening, and it came from someone outside the building, and then I was sending a message just to try to get a confirmation that was their who was there going to, if that was the true direction. And this particular individual said yes. But I'll give you a definite, or maybe I think is how he said it. Well, anyway, I'm not going to say exactly how he said it, but he said, let's wait to 8:30 and I'll give you a true confirmation. And it was about 9:10, 9:15 when I got a confirmation that yes, it was going to be Brian Ellis and Cap, as he referenced him. And I guess that's, if he's going to call him Cap, I'll call him Cap too. But when you look at these coaches, that's the way all of this goes down. And, a lot of those things, breaks from different parts, because think about your national reporters who have relationships with, let's say Baylor or Georgia Southern. Clay Helton's over there, kind of gives a little bit of a tip, right? You give a little bit of tip, hey, I'm losing this guy. And many of these reporters can direct some of these coaches into ways because they have great relationships. And, we forget, what's it like to have relationships with assistant coaches, right? I mean, you get that with the K1 DeVore system. We've not been able to do that under Nick Saban. There's nothing wrong against that. We don't, it didn't change the way we cover, but the access in the Nick Saban program was super limited. I mean, it was super limited. I mean, you got a few minutes with Saban on Wednesday, and a few minutes with Nick. It was 15 minutes on Monday at the noon press conference. So Nick Saban gave you plenty of quotes, plenty of audio clips, but it sounds like we're going to get to know these assistant coaches, and I think that happens at other places. We have just been conditioned to think that this is the norm.
And then, of course, they do hire Chris Kapolovic from Michigan State. He had been at Baylor for, as you said, since December, but had not coached a game there. He was the associate head coach there as well. He's got extensive history developing offensive lines. And this is a very interesting hire because there's going to have to be some rebuilding done on Alabama's offensive line, especially at the tackle spots, Ryan. And they brought in Parker Brailsford, the number one center out of the transfer portal, to take the place of Seth McLaughlin. But your initial impressions of him hiring Kapolovic?
Yeah, and I started going back and kind of studying. Martin Houston made a really good observation from a running back perspective. He was on my show following you yesterday. I featured Drew, and then I featured Martin, and then we had Dave Bartu. And he mentioned Kenneth Walker from Michigan State.
Yes, good point. Yeah.
That if you look at the run game coordinator responsibilities that Cap had at Michigan State, then you almost have to credit that particular part of that offense to him because he was there. He was the run game coordinator. So I think just saying a veteran coach, right? I mean, and that's an area that they're going to have to improve on. I thought that was when I started going back and really studying this offense. That was an offense that you needed to. It was a video game, right? They didn't have a lot of the rushing attack and those different things. So that'll be something that I think we'll dive into in the coming days when you look at this offense of where it could improve because it was all over the field. You're going to have to be a little bit more balanced in rushing the football. And I know they had success rushing the football, but physicality of pushing these big SEC defenders is something that they're going to have to work on. And I almost wonder if Cap might be a little bit better fit than Scott Huff was. And I know we automatically go to the offensive line and we say, when you think about that conversation with Scott Huff and Joe Moore award winning, but I just wonder if this guy's almost a better fit. I'd love to hear what Wes Neighbors said about Cap yesterday. I didn't get a chance. I was on the air at the same time that he was, but I'd love to hear those former offensive linemen share some thoughts because it looks like he checks a lot of boxes, not just for the offensive line, but being one of that run-heavy, play calling ability.
Yeah, and then finally Christian Robinson. I know that was the one that, as you already talked about, Adam Rittenberg, Bruce Feldman had that. He's one, if you follow football, and you certainly do on your show, that is very familiar to folks around the SEC. Scott brought it up earlier in the program in hour one. He went to Georgia, started his coaching career there, was a longtime linebackers coach at Florida, then spent 1 year with Harsin, saved his career by getting the hell out of there, and then going to Baylor. So, but this is an interesting one because William Inge, he was the last piece we all thought to this before the departures of Huff and Grubb, but William Inge never coached a game. And very interesting, though, with Christian Robinson, a lot of Southeastern ties with this hire.
Very much so. Coached at Auburn, coached at, I don't have his resume like right here in front of me, but I remember him making several stops. I know he coached with Georgia, really kind of got his start, I think as a GA there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
so
that's right.
Like I said, I don't have it right in front of me, but just trying to recall the memory, studying that for about 20 seconds on the air going, okay, this is his resume. But going, back to the state of Texas is those ties that we were talking about. I mean, you need some Texas high school ties, and you're getting that, even though it was a brief amount. And I know that a lot of people point to Brian Harsin's staff, but you got to go back on the strength of that Brian Harsin staff was probably on that defensive side of the football. Is that a fair statement?
Oh, yeah. And then it gives you, with his time at Florida, he gives you a lot of ties to the Sunshine State, too. So I think it covers a lot of bases.
Yeah, and so linebackers there. So you start, thinking about linebackers at AU during his time, if I remember, pretty solid. I know we were in a little bit of a dogfight. Should not have been, but we were down there. And, that first year, I think it was. So you take a look at the resume that he's got and you talk to the people, he may be better than what Alabama had. I mean, you just got to look and say, okay, was he better than that particular person that you had? Robert Bala would have coached, hold on. if he's going to coach outside backers, is he going to coach inside or outside? We don't know. I mean, we assume outside.
I strongly believe he's going to coach outside edges, which would have been what Inge was going to coach, and that I think Kane Womack is going to coach inside backers, Ryan.
Okay. All right. So then if that's the case, then we compare him to Coleman Hutzler. Now let that sink in just for a minute, okay?
Yeah.
Coleman Hutzler or Christian Robinson. Drew, who do you like in that one if you're picking coaches?
I'll go with Christian Robinson behind door number 2.
You don't know how many times I've heard Drew DeArmond criticize Coleman Hutzler. That's why I put it up on T for him. So that one's easy. Coleman Hutzler, give it some Drew DeArmond isms. He couldn't play dead in a B Western, I think is the other statement. Yeah. What's that? How's that go, Drew?
Couldn't play dead
in a B Western.
Yes.
Yeah, he could not. Yeah, he could not play dead in a B Western. So, when you look at Coleman Hutzler, and now he's got to go to Mississippi State as a defensive coordinator, which is kind of odd. I mean, that is a strange hire. So,
call Pete Golding for some wild turkey.
So you think about Coleman Hutzler, and you look William Inge, and you look at Christian Robinson. This is a true progression. This is not where you're regressing at that position. You're getting better every time you hire somebody. That's remarkable when you can go out and have an upgrade. And what I was told is William Inge is a little bit better recruiter. He's a solid individual, but coaching ability, he's probably not one of the strongest ones that was a part of that Washington staff.
Well, and Ryan, Alabama not done, though, there in the day. I mean, they go out and they add players as well. So, I mean, it's been a very busy, I guess you could say, 28 hours for Alabama.
And that's wow. I just hope it's slow in the next few hours. Like we can get some headlines out there. We can, begin to discuss these. But at the end of the day, I just like for it to be, you know what I mean? Just kind of go through the flow, nothing crazy. And that would be our goal. That would be my goal, is just to try to get back. And I mean, guys, this is the other part. We are 13 days away from Alabama's first spring practice. We're going through fourth quarter program right now. Started yesterday.
Yeah.
They did some install last week, but the fourth quarter program is underway. So they'll do the fourth quarter program, get conditioned, get ready for practice, and they'll do practice 3 times prior to spring break. They'll do Monday, Wednesday, Friday afternoon. I have been told that I think they're going to consider the morning practice routine in the fall, which is a lot of schools are going to that because, after you get through working out, with practice, you go to class, but then if there's any free time, a lot of your athletes are coming back, and the coaches have figured out that if they do the morning, that your players will return and they'll work on their own film room, studying, getting back. When you get done with practice at 6 o'clock, there's some other obligations, but coaches are learning that they can add to, and they almost do it on their own, just responsibility of trying to get better.
No doubt. Well, good stuff from Ryan Fowler. I'm sure it'll be a big topic today on the game. Josh Cuevas, the transfer tight end from Washington, and of course, Keon Sabb from the safety from Michigan, and more. We always thank you for coming back on in your native North Alabama, Ryan. Have a great show, and we appreciate the time this morning talking Alabama football. We know it's been a very busy time. You've been a very busy guy, but we always appreciate it.
No, anytime, man. I appreciate what you guys do. I know I credit Scott and Drew, talking ball 7 until 9 on my show when I feature Drew, and certainly have a great relationship with Wes and Steve and Tom and all you guys, man. It's always fun to hang out with you with media days, different bowl events, but I always appreciate the partnership. I almost feel like we're sister stations with 97.7 The Zone, the only sports station in the Rocket City. You guys have a great morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's get that final break in. Tomorrow's headlines next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, and pick up the phone to call, one you've seen on a billboard or on TV begging for your business, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center, not in some office 100 miles away. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to. We're the ones that you meet with.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case. You want to talk to me? You just call me.
And we'll take care of it. You worry about getting well. We'll take care of the rest.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Tom Luganbill here from my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
And a couple of wrecks reported. Sparkman east of Jordan.
And a gallon of tea.
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, we're going to wrap this extravaganza up, this 2-hour extravaganza. And, Drew, the headlines is just going to be simple. It's going to be like this. Will I get you your grape slushy thingy and bring it to you on Big Chief Day? That is the headline for tomorrow.
And are you going to already have eaten 2 burgers, 2 fries, and drank 2 shakes for the time you get there?
That is the other question. 2 burgers, 2 fries, and 2 shakes for the pregame meal. Will I consume it?
Yeah. And will Tokyo Drift get you there in less than an hour and a half?
I'm driving today, so I can.
I forgot about that.
I will control the time today.
Yeah, you will. Well, we won't be having some drifting.
No, not in the University Kia, because Arthur Seaton wants to see you in a University Kia.
He wants to see you in a Kia, brother.
That's right. Arthur Seaton wants to see you in a University Kia, so we are taking a University Kia to Jacksonville State.
Yep, the highest grossing in a Kia dealership in the entire southeastern United States.
They are the best. They are the best.
Best customer service and service department, everything. Arthur Seaton, first class.
Yep.
And everything they do.
All right, I will see you in about 2 hours, buddy.
All right, man. Y'all have safe travel.
All right. That's it. That's Talking Ball for Tuesday.